So I'm going to do a short presentation. Part of this is we're going to try something new that Claudia and Haynes and I have been thinking about. And part of it is work that I've done with Claudia and other people about computational thinking and its relationship with early literacy. So to start, if everyone wants to grab a, this work? There we go. A piece of paper and a writing utensil. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to start the clock. And you guys have 60 seconds to draw a person. Ten more seconds. And you're done. Just put your pencils down, put that to the side. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so just a brief overview. I know a lot of you already know this information, but what is computational thinking? There are a lot of different definitions and a lot of different components based upon what organization you refer to and what organization you are a part of. So after much debate and going back with many people, libraries themselves, or at least according to ALA and Ready to Code people, we're going to stick with the Jeanette Wing quote and definition that computational thinking allows us to take a complex problem, understand what the problem is, and develop possible solutions. And these are solutions that either a computer or a human or both can understand. On the slide next to it is this really great graphic from Barefoot CSA, CAS, excuse me, which is an organization in the UK that does a lot of computational thinking activities and stuff for young children for school and stuff. And I'll have a link to this presentation so you guys can take more time to look at the graphics and stuff. I'll share that as soon as I finish. So for young children, we don't necessarily need all the different parts and pieces and bits that you would need for older kids. It's much more simplified. So we think about it in 4 pieces. Decomposition, so breaking large problems or large entities into smaller pieces. Abstraction, taking something fairly complex and thinking about it, pulling it out to the bare minimum, the very necessary components. Pattern recognition, understanding how things are related and how you can relate them. And algorithms, which is a numbered, sequenced set of steps. A lot of times they talk about the other piece, or a large piece of computational thinking that is missing, that we don't use with small children, or often with small children, is automation. Is that idea of getting the computer involved and automatically going through steps by steps. So there is a relationship between early literacy and computational thinking. So early literacy is sort of getting you prepped for learning how to read and write. And computational thinking, it's not just this, but part of it is beginning to understand complex ideas and how they can be broken down into pieces. So how you can start understanding, observing, and interacting with large ideas and problems. This is a graphic over here that Claudia Haynes made, talking about, or sort of spelling out the distinctions between the computational thinking, the skills and early literacy skills, and then how they are manifest, how they are used, how you interact and use them. Dispositions, I think is what they're called. Sorry, big word. So looking at decomposition, or looking at all the different pieces of computational thinking and how they're related to early literacy. So decomposition, breaking large things into smaller pieces. That is very similar to what we do with early literacy when we break with phonological awareness, breaking large words, sentences down into their smaller pieces. We do this a lot when we sing. with small children. So if we sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, in the process of singing it, if we read it, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are, it's very quickly, we don't really break up all the pieces, all of the syllables, all the components of the words. But when you sing it, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. We're breaking all of those words down into their components, and we're really sort of demonstrating how letters and sounds go together, how they're related, which is also then pattern recognition, but then how all of those are put together to make larger words. And then those larger words are put together to make concepts. Pattern recognition. We do this all the time with small children. It is a basic skill that we teach them. It's also related to math readiness. But one of the ways that we do it is also, we could play Simon Says. So you have to, beyond just learning, having small children group blocks by color or size or type, there are ways that we can do it in our actions and playing games with them, like Simon Says, which Simon Says, for those of you who don't know, which I think all of you might know Simon Says, but you repeat an action. If Simon says to do it, you repeat it. When Simon doesn't say to do it, you don't do it. So that pattern there is the language and the prompting of it. And I like to play it as opposed to just Simon Says, which can be fairly, it's a male focused. When I'm the person in charge, it's Paula Says, because that's my name. If someone else is in charge, when kids do this, we'll put Michaela will come up and lead it. It's Michaela Says, so that the kids themselves also have ownership of the action, and they're not, it changes it up a little bit. It's kind of fun. They like that ownership piece of it. Algorithm design, we do a lot of this with small children. And it's sort of just recognizing that that's what we do. And we also do it a lot in our storytelling when we have sequential stories, like The Three Little Pigs, Dog's Colorful Day, Seven Silly Eaters. And it's really fun to go around a room with adults and have them tell a story and sort of understand that this is a basic part of what we do and we teach kids. It's not scary or different. It's not, it's not 57 lines of code. It's 3 easy steps. So it's kind of fun and interesting that way to sort of talk with both parents and librarians, library staff about how they're doing this work already. It's already integrated into what they do. And then abstraction. Abstraction is abstract. It's hard. I think it's the most difficult of all of these because it can be really difficult to understand, grasp the definition of. And one of my coworkers came up with this, and I thought this is absolutely brilliant. So like many nursery rhymes, you can sing them and in many different languages, even if it is not the participant's first language. And so part of what she did and found is the Itsy Bitsy Spider in Spanish, which my Spanish is horrible, so please bear with me. But la araña pequeñita subió, subió, subió. Vino la lluvia y se la llevó. Salió el sol y todo le secó. Y la araña pequeño subió, subió, subió. So you do the actions with it in Spanish. And that's with all of the Spanish words, the full translation. However, you can also do it just using the same tune, just using the sort of important words in the song. So araña, 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 lluvia, 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 levó, levó, so, araña, 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 araña. So what we've done there is sort of abstracted. We've taken out the really important pieces, the important language and ideas from the song, the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and using the same tune. So using just those words and the action, so the association is still there, and done the same song. So it's a way to sort of do language acquisition, but also it is abstraction, which is kind of cool. So I have like 9 minutes left. So I want you guys to go back to your person that you drew. And I have some questions for you guys. When you started drawing, did you figure out what order you wanted to draw your person in? Because if you did that, that's decomposition. You're taking the full person and breaking it down into its pieces. If any of you decided that you were going to draw a figurine, like a stick figure, which is what I drew because I don't pretend to have any art skills, that's abstraction. That's taking something very complex, a body, and breaking it down into very minimal pieces and what is necessary. If any of you then thought about, you know, what do in general people have? They have a head, they have arms, they have legs, you know what I mean? That's pattern recognition, seeing what people have in common that you're going to use. And algorithm design, if any of you decided that you were going to do it in a specific order, that is an ordered list, that is an algorithm design. So and the point of that is sort of just to think about the fact that we use CT in so many different areas and realms of our life that we don't really think about. But the concepts behind CT is just infused in all of the work we do and in all these different places. It's how we learn and sort of how we address problems. And I have a question for you guys, whether or not that actually worked, because Claudia and I are trying to think about different ways that we can talk about CT with people who are both in and outside libraries in ways that will help them understand it. I'm almost out of time. We're basically out of time. But I also wanted to show you guys some pamphlets that Claudia and I have made, and there are links to these in the slides that I'll send you. So this is a pamphlet that the DC people put together about computational thinking. And this is specifically for parents with the information and links to early literacy, which some activities that they can do in their houses or outside the library and inside the library to sort of work on and build those skills and think about them. So that's one side of it. And then there's the second side of it. So we've got the 4 pieces, things you can do to try it at home, how it's tied to literacy, and then books. And then here is a pamphlet that Claudia put together for Homer library people that I really like because it has some, there we go. It has some really great picture books in it that are tied to these concepts. So it's really about a way that you can explore concepts with literature, which is pretty cool. And then here is contact information for both Claudia and I. She's flying from New York to Alaska right now, which is why she couldn't be with us. And then links to these 2 pamphlets. So you can look at them, use them, edit them, make them your own. There you go.